I am a child of the 60s. In fact, one of the first memories I have is of Neil Armstrong walking on the surface of the moon. I've always dreamt of becoming an astronaut. In fact, my application is in right now. Come on, NASA. But I am not at all sure that humans should be exploring the reaches of space, nor colonizing it. Here's why. Hey y'all, it's Dr. Know-It-All. I actually wonder how many people are going to see the title of this video, not watch it, and click the thumbs down button. I guess we'll find out. So I've been watching a lot of videos by the Angry Astronaut recently, and by the way, I highly recommend his channel. He's angry, but more importantly, he's passionate about space, which I love. Anyway, he was reaming Blue Origin's Blue Moon project on a recent episode, and by the way, I totally agree with him. It will kill off Artemis if it's chosen. Dianetics is by far the better choice. But anyway, his episode inspired me to go ahead and make something I've been thinking about for years public right here. Humans should not be exploring space. You're probably thinking, oh yeah, I know, it's dangerous and people could die. But this is the only reason I think we should be exploring space. For example, I mountain climb. Constant danger, cramped quarters, sucky temperatures, sucky living conditions, hauling your own stuff, physically demanding, etc., etc. I also rock climb, I also ski, I surf, I love exploring the backcountry. In other words, I fully embrace the adventure danger aspect of being human. In fact, I think it's critical to who we are as a species. And as a side note, I also think it's why we have adventure sports today, and I can do an episode on that if you want me to. So the going out to explore a dangerous new world is exactly why humans should explore space. Deaths will happen, and obviously have happened. That's inevitable for something like this, but that's okay. People who choose to do such things know they are taking that risk and they choose to do so. And it expands who we are as humans. And that's why I put my application in with NASA for the latest round of astronaut candidates. I fully embrace this vision. So I'm sure you're asking now, well then why shouldn't we explore space? Because it is horribly inefficient to send human beings into space. We have robotic spacecraft in the form of Voyager 1 and 2 that have traveled beyond our solar system now. Voyager 1, for example, is almost 23 billion kilometers from Earth right now. We have humans who have gotten about 385,000 kilometers from home. They made it to the moon. And it costs way more to send those human beings to the moon than to send Voyager out of our solar system, by orders of magnitude more. Let's put a few numbers on this just to kind of demonstrate how this works. So the lowest current cost to orbit, just to orbit, right, LEO, right, that I have found is around $2,000 per kilogram, and that's on the Falcon Heavy. But this is not human rated. The cheapest human rated I could find is around $3,000 per kilogram on a Falcon 9. And it goes way up from that for Soyuz, which is the only other viable platform for human spaceflight right now. So great, it costs a bit more for humans, but really no big deal, right? So let's say we take a human who weighs about 70 kilograms, and that's about $210,000 to put them in orbit, right? That's not too bad. But wait, us meatbags need protection. We need lots of protection. And we need an environment we can live in, and water, which is really heavy, and food, and space to move around in. A decent estimate right now is that it costs around $55 million per astronaut to go to orbit on the Falcon 9. And that's just to get them to orbit, not to stay there. And of course, this number was way more expensive for the Space Shuttle or for Apollo. In contrast, both Voyager missions taken together have run for more than 40 years and have cost around $1 billion. That's about 20 astronauts into low Earth orbit, not including their stays there, for these craft to operate for over 40 years. We can do so much more exploring with robots than humans, so much more. And this makes me sad because I want to be able to go to space. But honestly, something like space tourism is the answer for that. Just do quick suborbital or orbital hops up to a week, you know. So you either go up and come back down again if you're poor like me, or you go around the Earth a few times and have a good time. And maybe to the moon someday. So space tourism, awesome. But that's it. But I'm hearing you say we need to explore space. Absolutely. And we need an Earth backup, as many people say. Absolutely. So humans have to go to space, right? Absolutely not. We humans are absolutely terribly suited for space. We grew up on Earth, and that's what we're designed for. If we keep barking up this tree, I am very afraid that we will run out of funding and will long before something terrible happens here on Earth and conscious life just ceases to exist. So what needs to happen? Our children need to go to space. This can happen in one of two ways, both huge engineering challenges. Number one, we need silicon-based life, or number two, we need radically redesigned biologically engineered life. One is much easier to achieve and might happen in our lifetime. For this, we need GAI, or General Artificial Intelligence. The robots we have designed so far are great, but they die, right? When they die out there, they have no way of replicating. What we need is self-replicating robots for this to work right, and that needs a level of intelligence. Plus, of course, if we want us to be out there, we need something that is a version of us. And if you're interested, you can see my fictional story Solution above, which kind of tails into this stuff. And of course, the AI Singularity could come very soon, and this could remove our part of the decision process. The AI entity might decide to do this on its own at that point. Whoa. The best case here is that we control the flow through this singularity, this AI singularity, and install our better values on our silicon children, and then send them out. And they get to a destination like Mars, and they build more of themselves, and then eventually that group goes elsewhere and builds more. With exponential expansion, they could inhabit much of our galaxy in just 1 million years or so. And thus our future inheritance would be assured, at least until the universe wanes, but that's a whole different story. Let's talk about option 2 in just a moment. But first, if you enjoy this video, definitely make sure you like it so other people can find it, because that's how YouTube works. And definitely make sure you subscribe if you want to see more of these. We're getting really, really close to 10,000 subscribers, and if we hit that before the end of the year, which is like 2 weeks away, I will be doing a giveaway, so definitely subscribe for that also. Also, a real big shout out to my patrons on Patreon. You guys are wonderful. Thank you all so much. And a big thank you to Zenly Music for doing the intro and conclusion music for me. He is a wonderful artist. You should definitely check him out on YouTube or Instagram. And finally, if you're in the market for a new Tesla, definitely check out our referral link. If you use that link, you get 1,000 free supercharger miles, and so do we, which is cool. Or number 2, we could engineer human-like creatures of some sort that are built for space, or the 1/3 gravity of Mars, or living inside an asteroid, or living thousands of years at a very slow metabolism so they can travel vast distances. This is more out there, of course, as these creatures would still require some life support, and as biological creatures, death is a much bigger issue, so travel times are also very important. But this also might be more appealing to us to have biological children out there in the cosmos rather than silicon ones. In both of these cases, humans would remain on or near the Earth, or perhaps someday silicon children could make Mars habitable enough for us to live there. But this is okay. We need to consider these others as evolutionary steps of humanity that we have some control over. And we need to see these as our children and our inheritors and our guarantee that life will continue. Even if it's not us as earthbound humans, it can be our children of a sort. And if we do it right, they can inherit the best of us and take that out into the cosmos. And we can take great pride in that and be happy our children have grown beyond we who are still stuck on Earth. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this episode and found it thought-provoking. I certainly find it thought-provoking to think about these things. If you did enjoy it, definitely make sure you hit the thumbs up so other people can find the episode, and for sure subscribe for more of these. And definitely make sure you ask me questions in the comments or at my email address, which is DrKnowItAllKnows@gmail.com. Till next time, bye-bye.